Hi, this is Jason from the QuickBooks team. With QuickBooks Online Advanced, you can include estimated costs when you fill out project estimates. That way you can measure your estimated versus actual profitability on a project. Let's go over the settings you'll need to estimate and record costs for projects, record transactions related to projects, and then measure estimated income and costs versus actuals. Before you fill out a project estimate, you'll need to confirm some settings. Select Settings, Account and Settings. Then select Expenses. To record costs, turn on the Items table. Select Save. And Done. Also select Settings again, and select Products and Services. If you charge customers for something and you also want to estimate its cost on a project estimate, make sure to check this checkbox. And assign an expense or cost of goods sold account to it. Now that you've set everything up, select Projects. To record a project estimate, you need to set up a project first. Check out this video to learn more about setting up and using projects. Select a project. Then select Add to Project, Project Estimate. QuickBooks enters the project. Select a product or service to include on the estimate. And QuickBooks fills in your standard cost and sales price for it. Don't worry if you left this blank when you set the product up. You can change the rates to whatever you want. And no customer price. Enter the estimated quantity. And any other products and services to include on the estimate. QuickBooks calculates your markup automatically based on what you've entered for your cost and what you're charging your customer. But you can change the markup, and QuickBooks calculates a new customer price based on what the product or service costs and the markup you enter. You can also change the sales price directly. Fill out the estimate with anything else you want to track or send to the customer, and then save and send. Confirm the details of the email, and select Send Estimate. For invoicing, project estimates work just like regular estimates. When it's time to invoice, select New, Invoice, and enter the project's name. QuickBooks shows you the open estimate. Select Add, and if you've turned on Progress Invoicing, you can choose to invoice for a percentage of the estimate, or specify what you're invoicing for by line item. Select Copy to Invoice. Make any final adjustments, and select Save and Send. Then send the invoice to your customer. Let's take a look at a report. Select Reports, and run the Estimates versus Actual by Project report. Because you invoiced the customer, you'll see the estimated income from the project estimate, the actual income from the invoice, and then the difference. Now it's time to pay the contractor who performed the work. Select Transactions to access your downloaded banking and credit card transactions. Find a transaction related to the project, and select Split. Enter the vendor you paid. If there's an account in the category field, delete it. This is very important. If you use an account to categorize the transaction, it won't appear properly on Estimate versus Actuals reports. Enter the same product or service you recorded on the project estimate. If you don't see it here, open the Products and Services list and mark it to appear on purchase forms. Then come back to the transaction after you've edited it. Enter how many of the product or service you paid for and what you paid for each of them in the quantity and rate fields. Enter the project in the customer column. If you paid for multiple products, services, or projects, enter them in the other lines. Then save the transaction. You can also manually record transactions related to this project. Just make sure to select a product or service and record the project name in the customer or project field. Let's look at the Estimate versus Actuals report again. Now the report lists your estimated and actual expenses, and any difference. Any expenses you've entered without a product or service will show up, but only appear as costs, so you won't be able to compare them with what you've estimated. Now you're ready to use project estimates and estimate versus actuals reports in QuickBooks Online Advanced.